Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop, and today I'm going to just do a quick video on a simple project I made continuing on in some of my shop organization process. You may have seen me use these acrylic paint pens in past videos. These are great for adding color to some of your laser cut objects and such, as well as any other type of thing where you need to add, some colored paint and but this box does not work very well for storing them. It's going to wear out over time, and every time I pull a pen out, they don't go slide in as easy. So I want to fix that, make the pens more accessible and easily stored. So I've got something drawn up. I'm going to show you what I've done in SketchUp, and then we'll get to laser burning it. So if that sounds interesting to you, want to check it out, stay tuned. We're going to jump right into it. All right, so let's go ahead, jump into SketchUp. We'll look at my 3D model, and I'll show you some of my thought process through the design. All right, so as you can see here, I do have my tray mocked up in 3D here in SketchUp. And what I was going for was to have a way to have basically easy access slots for the markers. So that's where these kind of rails with the scallops in them are going to hold the pens. And then I wanted it to also stack. So you see on the sides, I have these kind of rounded tabs and matching slots on the bottom, which should allow these to stack infinitely on top of each other. And the nice thing here is on the bottom, it actually is pushing in on this inside panel. So you're not going to get any side to side movement this way. This tab's going to push up against this base piece. So I don't need to have any tabs in the back, which would just complicate things a little bit. So in addition to that, I do have kind of the slot and tab or mortise and tenon connections here. So this piece actually comes through to here, and then I've got their alignment slot there. And then the same thing on bottom, I have them on the base, just slots cut out as well as tabs on the bottom of these. So if I just pull one of these up, you'll see that feature as well. So that helps with the build and the alignment, allows us to get it kind of put together without any problems. So I went with 1/8 inch material on this. Now you could scale this up for 1/4 inch. You would just have to keep in mind your dimensions, making sure that you're pushing them out rather than in. And then I also made sure that these were centered so that you can flip these around backwards and it's not going to affect how it goes together. It just makes it a little more trouble free. Same thing with these side panels. This is a mirror of this, so you can actually put them on either side. It's not going to matter. It won't screw up your assembly. And then the back piece is just a single shot there. So that's the overall thought process here. I didn't put anything up front just in case I had maybe some other objects, some pencils or maybe X-Acto blades, X-Acto knives that need to stick out a little bit forward. And I just felt it was an unnecessary complexity to add like a little capture point up front. Now you definitely could modify this and maybe add a little bit of a hinge point down there and a little bit of a clasp up top that it would snap into, but I feel over time those might break. And then in addition to that, you could create a lid for this. You would just kind of need to flip these around, have this on top, and just make sure that your tab and your notches here were the same, but that you had the lid going. So again, I didn't do that just because I'm keeping this simple, but definitely things that could expand this in the future. So of course I did take this and bring it into our layout here. These are our individual parts, and it doesn't take up any more space than I think about 8 inches high. So yeah, we're just shy of 8 inches high. And then also left to right, we have, I think, just under 11 inches. So definitely something that could fit on like a 12 by 12 piece of material. Now, one tip I do want to just point out since we're here, when you're laying out your objects for your laser cut file, one thing you can do to try to help optimize things is you can take some of your objects, say like this, that have a straight line, and there's a straight line over here, and you can actually combine them to share that line. So I'll show you here. I'm going to bring this down and we will just simply rotate it so that it is parallel with that. And now if we grab it, say here in the middle, bring it over to the midpoint there, now we're combining that line. It's only going to have to travel this way once to cut out both of those edges of those pieces. And so depending on the size of this object and the speed of your laser that's cutting, that can cut down, 10, 15 seconds. And the more of those areas you find where you can do that, like up here, we could probably rotate these around to have these little tabs line up. Those are just going to help optimize your cut time. It's going to cut down on the amount of time your laser's firing. So if you're cutting out multiples of these, that's definitely going to add up in say a production environment. If you're cutting one off, it's not necessarily a big deal, but just little things like this can kind of help improve your the speed and the processing of your jobs. Small tip there for you. Now let's jump over into Lightburn and see what we would do with it there. So here we have it in Lightburn, and I'm going to be using the Algo Laser 20 watt for this. And I'm not going to combine all those files this time. I just want to cut them out all individually to double check everything. But they are all just straight cut operations. So I'm going to be running at about 400 millimeters a minute, 100% power on this 1/8" light ply. And one thing you can do just to ensure the fit and things go together, you may want to play around with your kerf offset. I do have a video on measuring for your kerf, and then it's a matter of playing with your material to get just the right fit. I don't necessarily want it to be so tight that I have to like pound it together, but it's nice when it has just enough friction to kind of snug together and self-align. That means you don't have to hold it as long. The glue is going to work better. So for this one, I've found that 0.085 millimeter offset works pretty well for me. So we're going to roll with that. Like I said, they're all just cut lines. There's no engravings here. They're all one setting. So we can go ahead and send this off to the laser, and then we'll see how it goes together after it's done. So we're going to start the assembly by just sanding the pieces a little bit, getting any of the slight little flashback burns off, and a quick test fit. Now my glue of choice here is some medium CA. This stuff is by Starbond, and we're just going to put a little bit on each section, and I'm using the side pieces as kind of a jig just to make sure they're at a good 90-degree angle. So go ahead and do that on both rails, again using those side pieces to check the fit. And then once these are done, we can move on to the side pieces. You want to just check to make sure where your slots that are going to be for the stacking pegs, that you don't put glue on those notches, but you want to get them on the rest, get everything aligned, use a little bit of kicker to cure it up quickly, and then we can move on to gluing on the back panel. Same method, just get a little glue on each slot and tab, and we'll be good to go. So with them all complete, you see they do nest pretty well. They stack nicely, and you can even add in a normal pen, an X-Acto blade. There's a Sharpie marker, mostly fits, but the pens, they're staying put in there, and like a nice little rotational view. All right, and so here we have it, the completed stack of 3 marker boxes. I do have some extra spaces there that I can add some extra pens or things to, and if I needed to, I could definitely add another layer to this. So the fit works pretty well. They stack nicely and they don't slide around. The markers aren't flying back and forth. Obviously off the top row here, I can just grab one, but even off of these other rows, I can just kind of come in here, grab one and slide it in or out. So works really nice to be able to see all the markers, see the colors, grab them one at a time as needed. So definitely something that I think was worth the time to draw up and be able to use. I'll just be able to set this on the shelf when I need it, bring it over to the workbench when I'm using it, and I'll have everything at hand. All right, so I hope you found some inspiration in this video to be able to take this idea and maybe create something of your own that will help you with your storage organization in your workbench or your shop. If you'd like to actually play around with this file, I will have it available in my Etsy shop for a small fee. that's a great way to help support me and get something back yourself to be able to play with. So check that out down below, as well as I will also have links to everything I used in this video. There'll be affiliate links, and many of them will provide a small kickback to me at no extra cost to you. So if there's something you saw here you'd like to have, definitely check those out those links, and I appreciate the support. So if you liked what you saw here, go ahead and hit that like button, and maybe leave a comment about how you might use this or what you'd like to see modified to it. And if you'd like to see more videos like this and you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button. I do project videos like this, try to do some instructional how-to videos on using software or using various machines, as well as some product views. When something interesting comes my way, I like to share it with you as well. So if you want to see more of that, I hope to see you back in the future.